morning, everyone. Happy to slay and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. I am your host, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym. It stands for Stay Ready to Be Ready, Lead Out Loud, a sense of community, and you are built to last. I advise and empower women professionals to use their personal brand as a strategy, as a technique, a tool to gain lucrative opportunities. I am a certified image consultant, a professional keynote speaker, your personal brand expert, and a United States Air Force veteran of 30 years. So, welcome to the show. If you are here, please make sure that you put in your name, where you're tuning in from, because I just want to give you a shout out. You could be anywhere else, but you decided to listen in on today's conversation because that's what this is all about, is having a conversation, giving you some tools, maybe some tips, so that way you can go out there and be unstoppable. All right, to have the confidence that you need to get that promotion, to get that, job that you really are dreaming about, to really step out and separate yourself from everyone else, because there is a sea of the same faces, same behaviors, whatever the case may be that's coming out there. And sometimes we don't use our unique skills, our unique expertise to go out there and to really showcase and let the world know exactly who you are. Personal branding is really about having that perception of what you want people to see. All right. And doing it in your best authentic self. So, as you know, when we start out the show, I share with you exactly how I started my day. This morning, y'all, of course, I start my day working out. I did a treadmill boot camp workout. It was extremely hard. And one of the things that the instructor said was our inner CEO has to be a reliable source. So, meaning if you are the CEO of your life, all right, you've got to own the narrative, the story that you're telling yourself and you're telling other people. And so today, y'all, I want to just go over briefly about how you can ditch that small talk, kick it to the curb, because it's time. All right. I know that most of you have seen on my timeline that I just turned 52 years young. All right. And we don't have the time, the luxury. If you're tuning in, perhaps you're going through a major transition. Perhaps you are a women veteran, because I have a lot of women veterans that come to me, ask me a lot of questions about transitioning from a long military career into civilian life. And that could be somewhat difficult. So I'm always looking to see how I can play it big. All right. So remember, when was the last time that playing small ever got anyone anywhere? All right. When I was in the military, y'all, man, I'm going back in the day for just a hot second. Um, I was presented different opportunities, all right, to lead teams in different environments, very complex areas. I started as a medic. I became an independent medical technician. Then I went being a first sergeant on the inspector's team as a superintendent, then as a command chief, which was my last position in the military. And through that, I found that the personal branding was my most powerful asset. It was how I presented myself to the world, to the Air Force, how I represented the Air Force as a whole, how I communicated my value, how I made that unforgettable first impression by making sure that from head to toe that I was squared away. And so what I found was when I transitioned out of that, I used my personal brand. And when I did, it was an easier transition. Not to say that was, completely like, great. I had an emotional journey through this. All right. It has been high lows and ups and in betweens. But I found that I could definitely step out, create a business. All right. Separate myself from everyone else. I had a conversation with my girlfriend yesterday, and I was just sharing with her. I use this personal branding as a tool because we moved from South Dakota here to Maryland without us really knowing anyone and having a community, having a network system, and so forth. So I had to do some things, all right, straight out the gate, so that way I can start connecting and feeling confident. Okay, because confidence is the secret ingredient that takes your brand from good to unforgettable. So we have to embrace our brands, whatever that is. All right. And when I talk about personal branding, I'm talking about your appearance, your behaviors, your communication skills, and your digital presence. The ABCDs. This is a holistic approach. All right. This is the package. All right. So I don't just focus on the appearance, because as an image consultant, sometimes that is what we hear, right? It is about managing your image and the perception of what you want to share with other people. And you don't just want to walk into the room. All right. I help women get into the room, but once you're in the room, we got to command it in such a way where people are like, who's that girl? Who is this person? I want to get to know them a little bit better. All right. And we're using positive, all right, elements and characteristics, because you do not want to repel folks. All right. So, but in all of this, there are things that can hold us back. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning is I'm going to give you a little bit of how you can harness your personal brand, all right, and whether you're launching a business, okay, you're pivoting careers or you're stepping into your leadership role, it's time to stop testing the waters, all right, and start making waves. So let's just dive right on into it, all right. Here's some things that I know that held me back, that potentially could be holding you back. And so if you're here and anything is resonating with you, just let me know in the comments, all right? And we can have a conversation about it. But I had this nagging voice in my head, y'all. Okay, it would pop up every now and again when I was about to step into something new. Every role that I took in the military, I had that. And I really had that when we moved here, because I'm like, I'm coming in here. I don't know anybody in this networking world, if you will. I don't know really what I'm doing with this business, but I have to really figure out how to silence, okay, these disempowering thoughts. And it was whispering a lot. Are you sure you can do this, Queen? All right. And for many of us that are transitioning from military life to civilian careers, self doubt is like that uninvited guest who overstays their welcome. Okay. Because you, me, have led missions, we've managed teams, we've tackled challenges most people can't even imagine. But suddenly we're questioning if we got what it takes. And we have to come to the conclusion that we absolutely do. So you have to manage these self doubts. Okay. You have to be able to counteract them. So, however you do them, for me, it is really about being in the gym and running it out and really thinking through some things. All right. And when I get dressed, I am using positive affirmations. I'm telling myself I can do it. I'm telling myself, hey, even though you have anxiety or you're a little bit scared of the unknown, which in this next chapter, it's really different, okay? Because when I was in uniform, yes, so much uncertainty, and I was having a difficult time at times to kind of manage it. But in this next chapter, I'm looking at it differently. I'm like, man, look at all these opportunities I have to share what I have done, all right, and to not overpower the conversation with my military experiences, but to draw from the lessons that I've learned and how does that translate into the civilian world. All right. And so I had to overcome some things, and you can do that too by using your personal branding as a tool. Okay. Now, let's be real, y'all. Okay. Many of us, and I'll say many women veterans, are walking around with enough leadership experience to run many Fortune 500 companies. Yet somehow, some way, we convince ourselves that it doesn't translate. Okay, why? It all okay. So I know sometimes we can get into our head about things, but let me tell you some of the skills that we can definitely use as we're transitioning. Discipline. Okay. We have been in a conditioned environment where we are disciplined. We can do something on repeat over and over and over again. We have routines. All right. Some of them we've had to change because, transferring from or transitioning from military to civilian life, I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning like I used to. I do get up about 7. All right. So I pushed it back a little bit, but we have discipline. All right. We can problem solve under pressure. How many times have you been in a situation where the stakes are high and the chips are down, and then you're asked to come on in, figure it out? All right. You go back to your team and you ask questions, and then you come back with a solution. And we normally come back with a lot of COAs. Okay. And COAs is, those um what do you call those? I can't even remember the acronym, y'all. And y'all have to excuse me, but that's what they used to call them as these COAs, where you have options, right? Option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these different angles that you can solve a problem. So we can solve problems under pressure. Some of us have been deployed in some very difficult and complex environments, and we've had to think on our feet. We've also had to be very strategic. All right. We're looking forward. We have that ability to look at things and how they can possibly evolve. All right. What are the results of that decision that we're making? These are gold in the civilian world. Absolutely gold in the civilian world. So, but if you're like many of us, we might be downplaying our military background instead of flaunting it like the badge of honor that it is. So it's time to start recognizing your worth and showing others why they should too. This is why I show up, y'all, okay, a lot, because sometimes we can get into our head that we can just cancel out our military experience, where in reality, it is the basis and the foundation to what we do. And we can look at different ways to change, to flex. All right. And we can understand what our values are. We can now start to look at where the values that we had in our military experience, are they applicable in our civilian life as we transition? All right. And then we need to understand that we have worth. Okay. Never let anyone tell you, even though, sometimes we are applying for jobs or we're applying for opportunities where people are like, I don't even know. Maybe you're overqualified, maybe you're underqualified, but never undervalue your military experience and how much we've learned, okay, and how much we can do in this next chapter. All right, so then, all right, we have the fear of failure, the ultimate buzzkill. Okay, y'all. It's that feeling that if you step out and you try something new, you might fall flat on your face. And here's the thing. We've all been through tougher situations. Yet when it comes to a new career or a business venture, the fear of failing can freeze us in our tracks. This is analysis paralysis at its best. All right. We stop thinking that we can overcome an obstacle or struggle because it's not similar, if you will, as it was in our military experience. But guess what? Those who make it big in life aren't the ones who never fail. All right. I failed many a times when I was in my military career, not enough to where it was at the detriment of someone's life, but I tried something, it didn't work. I try another thing, it didn't work. I go back to it, and then potentially something will work. But then I had to tweak, right? And then you have to figure out, okay, well, what's the situation? What's the circumstances surrounding this? All right. What are these the first effects, secondary effects, the tertiary effects of a decision that I'm trying to make. And so those ones who fail and learn and keep going are the ones who really make it big. So we have that in us. All right. That is part of our personal brand. All right. It's part of our DNA, our makeup, if you will. So again, I'm just sharing y'all, okay, how we can ditch this small talk. And here are some things that may be holding us back. Here's another one. Have you ever looked around and think, where are all the women veterans who've done this before? Okay. Again, I'm talking specifically to women veterans, especially today, because again, I am a woman veteran. And sometimes, we get into our head, even though we've been there, done that, and got the t shirt, and we may be feeling a little bit down and out and maybe frustrated or very like just defeated in some cases as to when our transition. And I'm like, okay, we use some of these personal branding tools, techniques, and we use it as a strategy, all right, to overcome. So when I stepped out of here, or I stepped out of the military, I was looking around, okay, for women veterans. I didn't see anyone who was actually doing the kind of the same things as I was. But sometimes, we have to step out there and step out on faith and take a big leap of faith. And it felt like I was navigating uncharted territory without seeing others who've done it and made it. And it can be hard to picture our own success. But just because the path isn't well trodden doesn't mean it isn't worth walking. And who knows, you could be the trailblazer that others look up to. I have charted my own course, y'all. I've created my own path because this is a tool. Slay to Success, okay, as a business, I do keynote speaking, I present, presentations about personal branding. I do one-on-one consultations with women professionals, and I collaborate with other women who are in the same space that I'm in. And I look and I'm like, I have never seen anyone like a woman veteran doing, especially a woman veteran that has done as much service as I have. And so I always look as I could be the trailblazer in this. I'm setting my own course, and others may want to do that and follow suit too. So you could be the trailblazer that others look up to. Just think that and keep that in mind, all right, as we're trying to ditch the small talk, all right, and kick it to the curb. All right. And there have been times where I felt like I was wearing a disguise. Now, I felt like that when I was in the military, when I started getting, I was a medic. All right. And so as a medic, sometimes we got a little bit of flack. And so I'm like, wait a minute right now. All right. I was just waiting for someone to find out who I was. Like, aha, we got her. All right. And this is imposter syndrome. All right. Sometimes we have these disempowering thoughts, even when we got the qualifications and experience to back it up. There's that really sneaky feeling that we're not quite enough. Hey, Chevy, what's going on, Queen? Good morning and happy to slay. How's it going? Okay, I'm in here, I'm going in, okay? Trying to ditch the small talk. So we have the qualifications and the experience to back it up, but there's this sneaky feeling that we're not quite enough. And it's like having all the ingredients for a 5-star meal, which I love 5-star meals, y'all. Okay. I love the whole, experience. Appetizers, the soup and salad, then the main meal, and dessert. I love the whole deal. Okay, when I can get and when it's 5-star, but when we are convincing ourselves we can only make toast. And that's simply not true. How did we get there? All right. Well, somehow, some way we did, but I'm telling you, it's time to ditch the disguise and step into your role with confidence because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You may have a rocky path, all right, and I'm on the rocky path, but I'm exactly where I need to be because someone out there I know is maybe going through the same thing that I am. And I'm just encouraging you to, lift you up, lift you up just a little bit so that way you can find your way through. We love a good comfort zone, y'all. Okay. After a while, military experience, I got comfortable in the uncomfortable. But when I transitioned out of the military and started a business and relocated to a place where we've never lived before, um, it was such a huge leap, especially in the mind. And when we're in our comfort zone, it's cozy, it's familiar, it's safe. But staying in it too long, that's where those dreams go to die. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. So, if you are transitioning, whether or not you're transitioning from the military into your new career or into a leadership role, it is so easy to cling to what you've known. But life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And if you're willing to just stretch just a little, you'll find the opportunities outside are far greater than the comfort you've been leaving behind. Okay. And I'm not only speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself. So we've got to stretch ourselves just a little bit. I have been stretched so much. All right. I'm in a course right now, or it's a program. It's a 12-week program. And yesterday we were talking about our why, like, and asking 5 whys. Why did you start your business? Why do you do the things that you do? And I really had to go through the questions and put some thought into it. Why did I start the business? Because when women were coming to me and calling me after I retired from the military and asking me questions about how to overcome a major obstacle or how to transition out of the military, or to come in and speak to my experiences, I realized that there was more to what I was doing. And I created this business as a tool to convey to the world, all right, that I am ready, okay, more than ever to slay my life, to slay in my life. All right. Excellence, okay, is one of my core values. This is not being perfect, but striving for excellence. All right. Being the authority in something that I have never done before and charting the path. Okay. I love fitness, all y'all know. All right. And we have to be healthy in this. And so that's when I am sharing with other women and helping them. And even though, like I said, excellence for me is not being perfect, sometimes I would tell myself, I'll just wait until everything's perfect before I make my move. And said, and then when I think about it, no successful person has ever said that. Okay. No successful person has ever said, I'll just wait until everything's perfect. What people have a hard time doing is to take the first step. Just start to do something. All right. When we move into action, things start to happen. We can pivot. We can, look at something as a lesson learned. Yes. Yes, Chevy, operating in our why and our purpose. This is what we need to continue to do and to explore on a regular and not be afraid when it looks different than what everyone else is doing. Okay? Because we all have our unique skill set, we all have unique experiences and expertise. So, why not use that? All right? But some people are so set on everything's got to look good before I get started. And perfectionism can be a sneaky little excuse for staying stuck. It's that voice telling you to hold off until you all got all your ducks in a row. But here's the deal. Those ducks may never line up perfectly. And in the meantime, those opportunities are passing you by. Sometimes you have to just dive in and trust that you'll figure it out as you go. Yes, we have to talk about also talk about action. So many people are living with regrets because they know they want to do something but didn't take action. Absolutely. And we're not living in a life of regret, right? We're living in a life where we can look back and go, wow, I did that. All right. And most importantly, we did that for others, impact and influence others in a positive way. That is the goal that I have every single day. So we can't just wait until we're perfect. Let's just dive on in. We got to, it's a part of small talk. All right. And it's not part of our personal brand. Now, the next thing that we have, that may be holding us back, all right, is we have this incredible military background. Okay. Sometimes when I talk to other women who've been in the military, I'm just blown away. All right. But now you're starting in the civilian job market line. And it's like a foreign language. It's so confusing. All right. There are a different set of rules. There are a different set of policies and procedures and those unwritten rules. You're right. People who have been in the corporate space for many years, and here you are trying to make sense of it. Or similar to what I'm doing, you're getting into business and you don't even know like who's who. I here in the DMV area, y'all. There are 96 chambers of commerces within the DMV. And I'm like, I can't be a member of 96 organization. Don't even make sense. I'll be paying at the yang gang just to be part of. And I had to use my discernment and go into organizations, into their meetings or into their events and ask myself, is this where I need to be? Is this where I feel like, I'll be accepted into this particular environment? But I had to chart out a clear map because it's tempting to stick to what's familiar, even if it doesn't excite you. Not everything that I'm doing is rainbows and chocolate bridges. All right. I do a lot of admin work. It takes like I have two talk shows, y'all. Y'all know, right? I have this one that has on Tuesday morning, and I have one on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time, where I bring in a guest and we talk about leadership, wellness, mindset, personal branding, and business. And all that takes time and effort. Okay. And it's not exciting at times to see the background part of it. But here's the thing, our skills are more transferable than we think. And there's a career or a business out there just waiting for someone like you to take charge. All right. So it's time to ditch the small talk. All right. And put one foot in front of the next and start working into what you know can be a profitable career for you or a profitable business that provides impact to the world. Now, here's one other thing that may be holding us back just a little bit. And this is where, I'm going to share and get a little personal with y'all. There's a lot of personal responsibilities, right? I am a mother of a 14-year-old. I am a spouse to my spouse of more than 20 years. There is a lot of juggling, okay, between their schedule, my schedule, our schedule, things that we are dreaming about, things that we want to pursue in the future. And so between family and self-care and business goals, career goals, it can feel like we're walking on a tight rope. The temptation to play it safe and choose the stable, less demanding option is a real thing. Okay. It's a real thing. Sometimes we choose like other things over what we're trying to do, but stability doesn't have to mean settling. Okay. We just have to have a little strategy and a lot of heart And we can find that sweet spot between both our personal life and our professional dreams. Because I'll tell you, we have something in us. All of us have something in us that we want to birth. All right. We have a dream that's there, but for whatever reason, we put it on a back burner and we say, no, it's not time. All right. It is time. All right. We need to really figure out what we want to be doing. So I just given you several different things that may be potentially holding us back. One is self doubt. Two is undervaluing our military experience. Three is fear of failure. Four is this lack of role models because we've never seen anyone do it before. Here's yet another one that I didn't go over, but let me just talk to this a little bit. We have limiting networking. All right. That word in alone can make you hide. We didn't have to network when we were in the military. Why? Because people were given to us as we leaders of multiple teams in different environments. When people would PCSN, permanent change of stations, people would just come in and then we would have to make that team operate at the most highest level that we possibly can. But in the networking world, okay, we have to figure out where we need to be and where we're going to get the most traction. And figuring out who's who can really feel like cracking a secret code. But once we break the ice, all right, those connections that we make can lead to opportunities that we didn't even know existed. All right. I use, first of all, my appearance as a tool. Okay. So I have created an aura or a presence where when I go into a networking event, it's really in my mind, all eyes on me. But then for me, I have to step into that. I can't just be wearing the clothes without having the confidence or the competence to back it up. So again, this is a whole approach experience. So I'm just going to give you three simple tips that you can start doing today, okay, to really build your personal brand, all right, and to help you to ditch those negative, disempowering thoughts. One, you got to own your story, okay? Our experiences, our skills, and challenges that have uniquely shaped us to who we are, we have to use it. You have to confidently share your story, create a powerful narrative that resonates with others, and then those are going to open doors to new opportunities. However, you own your story, all right? I have written 3 books. I write articles, I write blogs, I do these talk shows, all right? I own my narrative. All right. You can also own your narrative by doing that. All right. I present myself on LinkedIn, which I feel like is the most powerful platform to gain quality connections and get quality opportunities. And I share thought leadership, okay? Things that are personal to me, but yet and still helping others, all right? We also have to leverage our strengths, identify those core strengths, and make them the centerpiece of your personal brand, whether it's your leadership abilities, whether it's our creativity, whether it's that resiliency that we have, uh, built up over time. We got to highlight what makes us exceptional. All right. Highlight that on a regular basis because confidence comes from knowing our value, it's from showcasing it unapologetically. Okay. When we know who we are and how we operate, can't nobody come around and tell you anything different. Okay. But it's a skill that we have to keep practicing all the time, especially as you're transitioning into something bigger, better, a little bit scary. All right. So leverage your strengths. And lastly, we got to show up. Okay. We can't be coming in one day and then months later trying to come in, all right, and talking to what we really are passionate about. All right. We got to show up consistently. And consistency is the key to building a strong personal brand. I have been very consistent. Okay. When I show up, y'all know what you're going to get. All right. And I have seen this evolve over the years, but there are some very foundational behaviors, communication styles, the way that I show up in my appearance, they're very consistent. Hey, Carl, what's going on? Thank you. You know me, I'm just out here just yapping and talking and helping. And I thank you for that comment. That's my goal, is to be a role model, be a positive role model. All right, because I don't want anyone to think that they're alone on the journey. This is a journey. Life is a journey, and you need people to help you to get, if whatever your skill set is, to help others. And so my skill set is talking and communicating and sharing. And so thank you so much for being here with me live on the show. So I was talking about consistency. Consistency is the key. All right. From your online presence to your in person interactions, you got to ensure your personal brand reflects your values and your goals in every aspect. Because when we consistently present ourselves with confidence and clarity, we attract the right opportunities and make a lasting impact. Okay? So that is today's discussion, if you will. I really pretty much told you, all right? There are so many different ways that you can ditch the small talk, and it is time to kick them to the curb. And as I was talking on my birthday, which was a couple of days ago, y'all, we only have a limited amount of time on this earth. What are you doing with your time? How are you using it? All right. Especially, okay, and I'm talking to my community, especially if you have served for a very long time. We have sacrificed, we have dedicated our lives, our family lives for such a long time. And then, yet, and still, even though we have accomplished so much in that particular environment, we start thinking, oh, I can't be doing this. All right. And I'm like you, I'm a human just like everyone else. There are times when I think to myself, I'm just going to throw in the towel. But then I remember, okay, the whys. Why did I start doing what I'm doing? Okay. And how much impact can I make? All right. And it may not be in real time, right? People may not get it right now, but maybe in a few years, right? Because sometimes we are all living in our different seasons, and sometimes it is not the right season for some folks to receive. But the folks that are in the right season at the right time, they're going to take it in. So own your story, leverage your strengths, and show up consistently. The world needs you. Okay. And we have to ditch these disempowering thoughts. All right. So I just give you a whole kind of gamut of things to think about. And so whether it's launching your business, whether you're pivoting your career or you're stepping into leadership, it's time to stop testing the waters and start making waves. Okay? Because the thing is, the time for playing small is over. It's over, especially if you're a woman veteran who is ready to step into a new business or career. Now, if you need support or help, if you got questions, you're not quite sure, you can come see about me. All right. Y'all know where to find me. Go to slateofsuccess.com. Okay. It's not hard to figure out. DM me. All right. Ask me some questions or whatnot. Let me see how I can support you. If you're in an organization and you're like, oh my goodness, Rochelle need to come up in here and talk a little bit about this personal branding because we're not quite sure what this really is, I am more than happy to do that. All right. I do keynote speaking. I have several coming up. I'm so grateful for these opportunities. I do podcasts. Y'all know the deal. Okay. I am on these interwebs. Good morning, Michael. Welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. I hope you're doing well this morning. We just had a full conversation about ditching the small talk, and we talked about self-doubt. We talked about undervaluing our military experience, the fear of failure, lack of role models, networking, perfectionism, all these little things that may be coming up in our minds to tell us that we can't do whatever we want to do. And I'm here to tell you, let's stop playing small. Okay. You absolutely have what it takes. So you're welcome, Chevy. You're welcome. We absolutely do. We have so much experience and knowledge as a veteran. All right. We just have to translate it in such a way that when we are moving in these civilian streets, all right, they will be able to comprehend and take in what we've done. And they will be so overwhelmed with inspiration from you when you share that, because I'm like, oh my goodness, y'all had to do this, that, and the third, and you went here, there, and everywhere. Wow. We want to learn more. We want to know how you overcome situations, because that's really the story. We overcame a lot. All right. And we did that voluntarily. We put our hands up, raised our hands, and said, we will defend our country. All right. And not a lot of people, when you kind of look at the bigger picture, are doing that. Okay. So let's be proud of our service and use that and leverage that in our personal brand. So I'm going to jump off of here because y'all know I got to go to my course here in a little bit. But keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. Thank you so much for showing up live, Chevy, Carl, and Michael. And we will see y'all again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on my other show on Sunday. All right. I have a guest. I have an amazing guest on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.